So does your big AI initiative feel more like a really expensive science experiment than a high-stakes engine for growth? Well, you're not alone. Believe it or not, something like 85% of AI projects fail to deliver on their promised ROI. And why is that? It's almost never a technical glitch. It's because leaders treat AI like some kind of standalone magic pill, prioritizing buzzwords over the tough strategic decisions. So today, we're not just going to talk about the tech. We're going to diagnose the hollow strategies that kill growth and give you the roadmap to reclaim your competitive edge. Okay, let's get into it. And look, that's not just some fancy quote. It's the reality. From totally transforming healthcare and finance to completely rewriting how you interact with your customers, AI is the new frontier. Getting this right isn't just about next quarter's earnings. It's about whether your business is even going to be around in the next decade. All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the incredible opportunity AI offers. Then we'll dive into why so many projects just go completely off the rails. And finally, we'll build the solution, starting from the ground up with the right cloud foundation and then layering on a strategic framework for responsible and, more importantly, effective AI. So let's get started. First up, let's talk about the why. Seriously, beyond all the hype and the buzzwords, what is the real, tangible business opportunity that makes getting AI right so absolutely critical? This right here, this represents a huge shift in mindset. We have to stop thinking of AI as just another tool or some software patch we can install and forget about. It's a catalyst. When you implement it the right way, it fundamentally changes how you innovate, how you operate, and how you make those really critical strategic decisions. And this is where it gets really exciting. I mean, just imagine using AI to process these enormous data sets, leading to smarter, faster decisions. This lets you create these hyper-personalized customer experiences, which of course builds incredible loyalty. And at the exact same time, you're using predictive analytics to stay ahead of the market, while automation handles all that repetitive grind that's bogging your team down. It becomes this amazing cycle of efficiency and insight. Okay, so the potential is obviously huge, but if the upside is so massive, why do so many companies trip up? Let's dig into the common pitfalls that turn these promising AI projects into really expensive failures. Yeah, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's rarely one big catastrophic failure. It's usually a series of unaddressed issues, often starting with that hidden tax of just manual grunt work. When you try to layer AI on top of fragmented, messy, undocumented processes, you don't get efficiency. What you get is something called shadow AI, where you're basically just automating your own mistakes at a massive scale. And one of the most dangerous of these automated errors is algorithmic bias. See, if your training data reflects existing human or societal biases, your AI won't just learn them, it will amplify them at a terrifying scale. This can lead to absolutely disastrous and discriminatory outcomes in really critical areas like hiring, where an AI might learn to favor candidates from certain backgrounds, or in finance, where it could unfairly deny credit to entire groups of people. And the difference here is just night and day. A biased, irresponsibly deployed AI is a total black box. It's opaque, it's risky, and it just reinforces unfairness. But a responsible AI, well, that's built on a framework of transparency and accountability. It's designed to promote fairness, to mitigate harm, and ultimately to build trust with your customers and stakeholders, which, let's be honest, in today's market is your most valuable asset. And it goes way beyond bias. There's a whole minefield of other risks. We're talking about the malicious misuse of AI, like deepfakes being created to spread misinformation. There are huge data privacy risks. I mean, think about the multi-million-dollar fines for things like GDPR violations. And if your team starts to see AI as a replacement instead of a tool to help them, you could face internal resistance that sabotages the entire project. These aren't just tech problems. They are board-level, potentially business-ending risks. So how do we fix this? Well, the recovery starts from the ground up, with the foundational layer that every single successful AI strategy is built on, the cloud. You can have the most brilliant algorithm in the entire world, but if you're trying to run it on a weak, inflexible, or insecure foundation, it's just destined to fail. It's like building a skyscraper on sand. Your AI needs access to huge amounts of data and massive computing power right when it needs it. And that's where a really robust cloud infrastructure becomes completely non-negotiable. And you've got options for how to build this foundation. Think of it in layers. At the very base, you have infrastructure as a service, or IaaS. That's where you're basically just renting the raw computing power, the servers, the storage. A step up from that is platform as a service, or PaaS, which gives you a whole environment to build and deploy your applications without having to worry about the hardware underneath.
And then at the top, you have software as a service, SaaS, which are basically ready-made AI applications delivered over the internet.
Okay, so once that right technical foundation is in place, we can finally layer on the strategic fix. This is all about the human-led governance that ensures your powerful new technology is used effectively and responsibly. Now, this is a huge point of failure, and it's all about misunderstanding this, the shared responsibility model. So many people assume that because their data is in the cloud, the provider handles all the security. That is a massive misunderstanding. The provider secures the cloud itself, the physical data centers, the core hardware. But you are responsible for securing what's in the cloud. That means your data, your access controls, your configurations. Getting this wrong isn't just a simple mistake, it's a fundamental failure of governance.
So what does a really strong framework actually look like? Well, you should ask yourself these questions. Does it start with clear ethical governance coming from the very top? Does it include robust security with things like encryption and regular audits? Does it demand transparency so your AI isn't just a black box? Is it built for regulatory compliance from day one? And maybe most importantly, does it include continuous monitoring? Because this is never a set it and forget it kind of process. So let's bring all of this together. What are the core, actionable takeaways you need to turn a failing AI experiment into a true competitive advantage? It really all comes down to this AI-first paradigm shift. You have to use AI to automate all that low-value, repetitive work to free up your team for actual strategic thinking. You need to use it to personalize customer experiences at a scale that was just never possible before. And finally, use its power to predict what's coming next, allowing you to make proactive decisions instead of constantly reacting. Automate, personalize, predict. That's not just a strategy, it's the new operating model for success. So I'll just leave you with this one question. After everything we've covered, the foundational infrastructure, the responsible framework, the strategic goals, take a really hard look at your own initiatives. Are you building a true high-stakes engine for growth, or are you still stuck just running an expensive science experiment? Honestly, the answer to that question is going to determine your future.